What is up, everybody? What is up? I want to talk to you guys. I want to share with you yesterday in our team meeting. I try to do a good job, leading our content compounding team and making our time together more than just here's what we need to do better, here's something new we're trying. And so leadership is super important to me. Teaching and equipping people is super important to me. And so yesterday, and guys, I would encourage you to do this, right? Take the things that you're teaching your people and turn some of those things into content. Because what you're teaching your agents, your other people need to know, right? What you're teaching your LOs, other people need to know. And so you're already preparing these little micro messages for you as the leader. We just don't think like, oh, you mean I can actually like turn around and teach this to others? And so guys, this is what I'm doing. I taught this yesterday morning to our team, and I think it's so valuable. This is so valuable for life, for business, for social media, for parenting. Guys, this is so valuable. And so here's what I taught. There's a quote in Gary Vee's new book that says, insecurity festers without the fertilizer of patience. Guys, we ruin so many things because we don't understand this quote. We set so many things in motion, but because we lack patience, we throw them away before they're worth anything. We try so many new ideas, but we quit them because we didn't add patience to the mix. We didn't give themselves opportunity to grow. We struggle with social media because we don't get the traction that we wanted. And so we allow patience to not be present, and a lack of patience breeds insecurity. And so we run away, we throw things out, we go the other direction. And God, man, this is probably one of my favorite quotes I've read in the last 5 years, because the moment I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so applicable to every aspect of life, right? Because think about, let me, what's up, Mike Fromm? I owe you a call back. You are absolutely right. And guys, think about it, even in terms of marriage, right? Like we lack patience in marriage, therefore it can allow insecurity to fester. And when insecurity festers, then we look to our partner to be more for us than they need to be, and we put all this added pressure on them, and then we wonder why everybody ends up divorced. So this is it. And so what I want to break down for you is what I broke down for our team yesterday. Is there's three things that we can take from this quote. One is what happens when this happens, right? Where's my right? Is there's three things that when we are insecure, three things happen. Then I'm going to teach you that when we lack patience, three things happen. And then I'm going to wrap this up, and I promise it won't be very long. But guys, the final piece of this is when we have patience, three things happen. And so I'm going to give you 9 things, 3, 3, and 3. And I truly believe that if you want it to, this can change the way you literally do your life tomorrow. Because maybe for somebody that's watching this, or you're going to watch the replay, or shoot, you're watching this in 2026 because this is on my YouTube channel and somebody's going to see it. Maybe the only reason that you found this video tonight is because you are robbing yourself of grace, which is keeping you from accomplishing your calling. You are robbing yourself of grace that's keeping you from accomplishing your calling. And so this is huge. Chad, my man, what's up, dude? Thanks for watching. So the first thing, guys, when we are insecure, three things happen. Number one is we put unfair pressure on others, right? When we are insecure people, we put unfair pressure on other people. When I'm insecure in my marriage, I put unfair pressure on Lana. When I'm insecure as a dad, I put unfair pressure on my kids. When I'm insecure as a leader, I put unfair pressure on my staff. When I'm insecure as a friend, I put unfair pressure on my friends, right? When we lack security, we put unfair pressure on people. And so we've got to realize this for my friends that are single, for my friends that are married, stop putting unfair pressure on your spouse, on your significant other. They're doing the best that they can, but because you're full of insecurity, they cannot be for you what you need them to be. And so we've got to be aware of this. Number two, guys, is we struggle to receive feedback. So when we are insecure, we can't grow. Because when somebody tries to give us feedback, when somebody tries to give us a tip, we can't receive it, because the fact that you're even giving me a tip has convinced me that I'm not good enough, and you think I'm not good enough. And so we are crazy enough to think we've twisted this whole thing, that here's our sweet friend that has given us a tip, and we've all of a sudden turned this into like they're out to get us, because insecurity didn't allow us to receive it. But not only receive it, but insecurity allowed us to take that thought all the way to, they think they're better than me. You think you're better than me. That's why you're saying this. Guys, we're freaking nuts. Like, we're crazy. We've all done this. And so we've got to be careful, because insecurity keeps us from being able to take feedback from people. And so this is, guys, this is it. This is game changing for us if we choose to receive this and look in the mirror and understand what this is causing us to do. But then the last thing, guys, and let me just, before I put this up here, right? Most of you that know me, you already know this. Anybody that's new, right? Like, I'm a very spiritual person. I love Jesus with all my heart. I don't care if you do or not. It's, that's between you and him. But I do. And what I've found is, when we struggle with insecurity, we don't trust God the way we say we do. Right? If I truly believe that God is who I think he is, therefore I can pull this out, right? I can pull out my Bible that sits under my computer that I read most mornings. When I say that I believe this, and then I start reading verses that say you are wonderfully made, right? God knew you before you were even in your mother's womb, right? Like, at some point, we just don't believe that's true if we continually struggle with insecurity, because God has told me that because of him, I have everything I need. And so without trying to go overly spiritual on anybody, right? If we're not careful, we will put like God-like pressure on other human beings, right? We will put these ridiculous expectations on other fallible humans, and we wonder why things don't work out. And so we gotta be careful. But let's also talk about when we lack patience. And I know this probably won't resonate with anybody, because nobody struggles with patience, right? Everybody's super patient all the time. But maybe this is just me. Guys, when we lack patience, the wrong people get blown up on, right? When we lack patience, you will get frustrated all day at work. And then one of your kids will do one little thing and boom, you explode. And they're on the receiving end of a blow up that wasn't meant for them. Or I could blow up on my spouse, or you could blow up on a friend, right? Rarely, guys, does the explosion happen to the right person, because it's been all these little ancillary things that all build up over time. And when we lack patience, somebody gets blown up on that most likely didn't deserve it. And so we got to be aware of this. The second thing is, guys, we quit things too soon. When we lack patience, We give up, right? How many of us have given up on our diets? We know that the diet works, but we just weren't patient enough, right? We didn't see the inches, the pounds come off quick enough. And so we were like, well, screw it, I'm quitting. Or you're trying to be better at social media, you're trying to be better at video, and you give it a few days, maybe even a couple weeks, but then you throw in the towel because you didn't have patience. Guys, we have got to create room for patience in our lives. Right? The way that I look at my marriage, right, is I plan to be married to my wife for 60 years if the Lord allows that. Right? If I get to live that long. And so why would I let something today frustrate me to the place to where now I don't want to be married to her anymore? It's patience. Right? It's patience. We've got to extend patience, but we don't have it. And a culprit of it is because we're so selfish, and it causes us to lack patience. And guys, this goes right into it, because the third thing, guys, is when we lack patience, we stop listening. We stop listening because we don't have patience, because we're all about ourselves, right? I'm here to sell you something, and so you let me talk. I don't want you to talk. And we lack the ability to listen, to hear the struggles that people have, to hear the situations that they're in, and then be able to speak intelligently into those opportunities. But we lack patience. And so we stop listening, because listening takes time. And when you don't have patience, you don't have time. And so we lack patience. We sometimes fall into these insecure spots in our lives. But the beauty of this, right, is when we have patience, right? For those of you just jumping on late, right? All of this has been pulled from this quote from Gary Vee. Insecurity festers without the fertilizer of patience. Insecurity festers without the fertilizer of patience. And so as we wrap this up, guys, when we have patience, 3 incredible things happen. The first is this: we extend grace to others more often. Guys, I get asked sometimes, like, how are you so happy? How do you always have a good attitude? Like I'm just known as a positive person. All right. I don't participate in gossip. Like I'm not like, how do I do this? Guys, I do this because I give grace to others. I assume the best in them until they prove to me otherwise. So if somebody hurts my feelings, I do my best to assume they didn't mean to. Whereas most people would assume they did mean to, and so now they're ready to fight. Right? When a client is frustrated, I do my best to assume that, man, they've probably had a rough day. They're taking it out on me or one of my team members, but like, we're not really the culprit here. I do my best to give grace to others. Why? Because God's already given it to me, and because I want grace extended to me. And so I want to reap what I sow. And then, guys, my life is just better. Because if we're being honest, how many of you live your life with the expectation of everyone is out to get you? How many of you? All right, you live your life when that person cuts you off, like they meant to cut you off. Like they saw you and they're like, there's Kyle, watch this, I'm gonna go. If you're not careful, you live your whole life thinking that everybody's out there on purpose trying to hurt you. When the reality is that's mostly never true. You got to do a better job of extending grace more often to other people. but we can't do it. What's up, Jenny Mason? Thank you for watching. We can't do it when we don't have patience. Number two, guys, what happens when we have patience is we ask good questions. One of the things that I've tried really hard to get better at as I've gotten older and older and older is asking tons of questions. Why? One, because most people want to talk about themselves. So most people are going to talk the whole time anyway. So I might as well get some questions in. And so I love to ask questions because questions reveal answers. And with those answers, we end up typically getting what we want, right? I through questions can begin to understand what your need is. And then I can figure out how to formulate an answer to that need instead of just hoping to fit you into a box. And so when we have patience, we ask really good questions. But then here's the last part. Guys, and this is where I think we struggle the most, and this is what breaks my heart the most. Is, guys, when we have patience, we can see growth in ourselves. Guys, one of the things that I end up doing a lot of as a leader is just reminding people how awesome they are. It's reminding people how far they've come, right? It's reminding people that get so fixated on moving forward that they never look back and recognize where they used to be. You know, a long time ago, I heard a pastor say, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. And so, guys, when we lack patience, we will convince ourselves that we aren't doing anything good. We won't celebrate small victories. We won't give ourselves an opportunity to be excited for the little victory because we're only fighting for the big one. And guys, when we only fight for big ones, if we don't have patience, we don't get there because we stopped too soon. And so I don't know who this was for. I don't know who needed to hear this. Maybe it was just for me and my team. But guys, write this quote down somewhere, right? Meditate on this, internalize this. Insecurity festers without the fertilizer of patience. There are a lot of things in your life right now that are better than you're giving them credit for. But you're not because of this right here. So I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll see y'all soon.